Welcome to the show where I take a look at someone's past month's spending and the income that came in and see how it all comes together to meet the financial goals they're trying to achieve or get over the financial obstacles that are holding them back. And make sure you are subscribed as one of the first 50,000 subscribers here will win $1,000. With that, my name is Caleb Hammer, and today we are meeting with Megan. Megan, how old are you and where are you based out of?
I am 25 years old and I'm based out of Northern California.
What do you do for a living in Northern California?
So specifically in the Bay Area, I am a health fitness specialist. So it basically means I help run like a corporate gym facility and personal training as well.
Okay, I could definitely use your help. You help me with that, I'll help with money, and perfect team. So, just based on your finances that you've brought here, what are some things that you want to talk about? What goals are you trying to achieve, or are there things that are holding you back right now?
Yeah, so I currently live at home. I'm finishing up my master's degree right now. That'll be done this December. So I'm looking to move out and just kind of, I don't really have a whole lot of financial help, background from like parents. So I kind of have a steady income for the first time in my life. It's not a whole lot. I want more, obviously. So I don't really know a whole lot what to do with it.
What is that income right now?
So it varies because I have a base hourly set at 21.63 an hour. Um, but through doing group exercise classes, personal training, depending on the package they buy and the depending on it's like a 30-minute or a 40-minute or 30 or a 60-minute session, the rate's higher. So anywhere from 21.63 up to like 65 an hour. So I think I looked at the past like four pay slips to average amount, it's about 1,700 a check, and that's I gets paid semi-monthly.
Okay, is that 1,700 net or pre-taxes?
Net.
Now, what was your undergrad in?
So I got my undergrad in kinesiology with an emphasis in exercise and fitness.
Okay, and what are you studying for grad school?
And master's in kinesiology, emphasis in exercise physiology.
So, what are you going to be able to do with this master's degree that you can't do now?
So for specific, I could what I want to do, I could do with a bachelor's. It's just a lot harder to get hired. So it's clinical exercise physiologist. So with that, to just get started, to get the certification, you would need a bachelor's degree and 1,200 clinical hours, or you can get a master's degree, more likely to get hired with that, and 600 clinical hours to even just sit for the exam. So work in like cardiac outpatient facilities.
How many hours do you work a week?
40.
You work,
But
wow.
what I do right now doesn't count towards those hours
Oh, wait, why?
because I can't because right now in my area you need the whole certification to even get in the door or get the master's degree to even do like almost like an unpaid paid internship to get in those areas. It's really annoying.
Okay, so after taxes, you're bringing in right now $40,800 a year, which in the Bay Area, that kind of hurts. But what do you expect to bring in net, since this is net, on a yearly basis with this new position?
Starting 70 upwards to six figures.
Good. That's good because I'm assuming this master's program is costing you money.
Actually, I will have no debt post for anything.
Okay, explain how.
So my financial situation going into it, my parents don't make a whole lot. For my undergrad, I got basically most of it covered from FAFSA, and I also worked throughout my entire college. I was a server, did that food service grind, so bachelor's was paid for. The master's part, my grandparents, I am very fortunate. They set up a college fund for both myself and my brother. He did not go to college, so I got his fund of the college fund. So I will be done with absolutely no debt and student loans at all.
Wow, great. And now, how much do you have?
Situation. I'm very aware of the privilege that I have compared to a lot of other Americans.
And how much time until graduation?
December, I've got like a month.
Wow, very cool. So then, what's the play from there?
So I'm already in the process of trying to get in the door. Like I said, I do work at a corporate um, kind of facility. We're in charge of like a lot. If you think of like people who work at Google and they go to the gym, that's what I'm doing. I run those gyms. And there's been talks of me moving up in that world. So I'm trying to figure out the difference of would it be to just me stay in the corporate fitness era and make upwards of 70, 80, 90, 100K there, or switch to what I originally went to school for. So I'm just kind of weighing my odds, seeing where there's opportunities. As I've already been approached to like run some certain sites, I just can't do it right now because I'm finishing school. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I'm also been networking with previous professors who went into the clinical exercise biz and trying to networking, poke their brain and see if they're hiring at all as well.
Now, even with like a $80,000 a year salary, the median Bay Area salary is $165,408. How, in your mind, do you think you'll be able to survive?
I do have a partner. We currently don't live together, but that is the next move. Um, they make good money. They just get a new role around 90. And I know you don't like to rely on the partner 'cause things happen, of course, breakups happen, but that's the our next like big move is when I mentioned moving out, that's the next goal is moving in with them.
Well, it depends. Like, I mean, certainly, I mean, I'm good with moving in and then, you can split rent, but obviously, always things could happen there. Definitely don't like relying on terms of like, partners' money for paying for these kind of bills that are under my name and stuff like that. But is marriage in the future? Because that is a big part of this.
Yes.
Okay. Because the average rent for an apartment in that's San Francisco. I'm trying to get the average Bay Area rent.
For a
Uh,
one bedroom, probably between two and probably one bedroom like around 2 to 2,500.
so, what do you think the rent prices that you will all be looking for?
What we're looking at right now, kind of like outside the area that we would like to, of course, like the one we would love to live in is way too expensive. So we're looking anywhere from 19, I think it was, oh, I think the lowest we saw was like 18 for like a shoebox to like 2,200. And we're not set on this area where we want to leave. We would love to go down like just like the San Diego area, just for right now, getting all of our footing in the door within like the real like corporate world. We're just trying to like, unless also remote positions pop up as well.
With the 2200, yeah, I think that could fit in. That will be if I'm just guessing where you're at and where he's or where they're at post taxes, then I think about it's 29.333 repeating percent
Yeah.
for net,
Yeah. Basically 30% of like the income.
which okay, yeah, I mean that fits within the 30%, so that's fine. I say shoot for the 30%, then maybe you get that 2,200.
Hmm.
That's fine, especially since marriage is on the horizon. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking more about the combined thing than I typically would if y'all were just dating for a little bit. So obviously that's where you'll be going. So there's no place between that apartment with you both and you living at home, correct?
Yeah. So we both currently live at home right now. So we're just saving all money possible.
Let's look at that savings. We have savings with Wells Fargo. Wow, 44,000. Okay, so what are you doing with that?
That's my question. And yeah, there are some changes. Those statements are like a little bit old because of like the scheduling. Um, there's also a credit union in there. The majority has moved over into the credit union. There's like 5,000 left in the Wells Fargo savings, just because I was tired of the 20 cents of interest you get.
Yeah, what's in the credit union right now?
Right now, I could tell you, I believe it's 43, but let me double check. 43,432, and then the Wells Fargo has just under 6,000. So just like because there's not a whole lot of credit union like ATMs near me, so that Wells Fargo savings just like emergency 5K. I need to get cash like quickly, but the majority of my money is in that credit union.
So you basically have 50.
Yeah,
And then in the money market, almost 2,000. And you also have like the standard statements, only a few hundred, and a couple different investing things there as well.
yeah, that's brand new. I just started like a 401k with this job when I was like 90 days, so I think there's $400 in it like vested right now.
We will want your Yeah, we're gonna. So the $50,000. What are some goals? We're looking for the apartment. What's your car situation today? What's like the home ownership desire timeline? Like what are we looking at?
Yeah, so I own my car. I bought it in cash. It's a 2018 Hyundai Elantra. I had a Prius, and then someone stole my catalytic converter, so I had to buy a new one. Right before the car boom, though, so I didn't buy it at a crazy price. It was like 14K cash, so that's fine. Everything's good on that. The apartment, the moving out is the main goal right now, and then obviously I love to buy a home. Um, I don't see that happening in the Bay Area, maybe not even California. I would love to stay. My entire family's here, but just the state's so expensive. So I think buying property like that's a goal, but it's such a far goal like into my 30s, like 35 maybe, like 10 plus years.
Sure. And looking through your spending, like on the Chase credit card, there's not much in your checking account, but it was mostly just paying off things. So not much to go over there. But in your Chase credit card, not too much fun. You are taking advantage of some transportation services a few times, like Lyft and Uber, and then you go out to a few restaurants, but really nothing crazy. And Amazon once, twice, three times.
Yeah, some of them I think were redemption, like I returned stuff.
Sure.
And I had sent another statement that had because that when I pulled the statements, it was like for the previous month and my statement hadn't closed yet. So I think I have a thing in there that has like October spending that like was more recent.
Yeah, I see that. And there's a couple going out to eat, a few going out to eat, some shopping with Amazon. It's really not crazy. Taco Bell 7.25. I think for your financial situation, this isn't crazy. I mean, you've been able to say how long has it been since? Did you save up all the $50,000?
Yes, that's all my money.
How over what period of time?
I've been working since I was 16. Just worked at a water park, worked served food service a long time. During the pandemic, I was a working in food service, a server for like 5 years, all through my bachelor's. And then once we kind of started open back up, went back to food service. People were really mean, so I got tired of it. So I was like, let me do personal trainings. That's what I've always loved to do. So I've been doing that since March of 21, I believe, and just been getting like I live at home. I don't have really any monthly expenses except for like maintenance on my car. My parents are very nice. As long as I'm going to school, they don't charge me rent, so I don't have to pay any rent. Even when I'm done in December, they're still really nice. I don't think they're going to charge me anything while I'm looking for apartments. So I don't have a whole lot of monthly spending. I think that's why I'm able to save so much. And I come from that kind of poorer background. I know it's Bay Area, but we've been here before the tech boom. So I kind of have that scarcity mindset. I'm like, I have money, I don't want to spend it. And then that's why like the investing thing, I don't know what to do with it because I'm like, I can't see it, I can't touch it. What do I like? I don't see it in my physical bank account, so I feel like it's not there anymore.
Sure. So I think your future is certainly bright and relatively clear. This is what I would do if I was in your shoes, non official financial advice. I would take 15 of that, put it in a high yield right now, or keep it in the credit union if it's a high yield. That is,
It's just under 2%.
you can do better than that right now, but that's fine if you really want to. But this 15,000 isn't going to be touched. This is going to be your emergency fund, not your and your partner's emergency fund. We're going to keep that separate for now until things are official, legally speaking, with a partnership. And then I would take 6,000 today, max out my Roth IRA, and have those funds just be, general following the market, some index funds, nothing too complicated, nothing crazy. And that's really easy to set up through something like Fidelity. Fidelity is what I use, so that's always the example that I say. So that is, what is that? That's 21,000 of the $50,000. Maybe the rest. Anything else you're trying to save up for since you already have an emergency fund? We're maxing out Roth IRA. Besides a potential home in the future, like far, far future, it sounds like. Anything else?
I don't think so. Like I don't need a whole lot of stuff, like big purchases. When we move, we're gonna take a lot of stuff that we both individually have at our own houses. So we won't need like bed or TV or anything like that. Back to like the 401k thing. So I think you saw it, I have a 401k Roth match with the employer, but they match, I contribute 4%, which they match 1%. It's really not the best. So are you saying open up like a personal one?
Yes.
And put 6,000 in that, or change my contributions to do 6,000 through the
Well,
employer one?
Well, right now with the $50,000, what I would do is I would open up your Roth IRA outside of the 401k, which is Roth based. So this is outside of your employment. Now, what I would do going forward, actually, let me loop back to that, but let's continue talking about that $50,000. It's 21,000. We're not saving up for anything specifically. I think the rest, besides the 15 in emergency fund, 6 that goes to maxing out Roth IRA, the rest just goes into a brokerage, and you just buy some into some mutual funds that just again generally follow the market, and then your money starts moving. And I think right now, since it's not already playing in the market, if I were doing this right now, I think you're gonna be really happy with potentially where the market is at 5, especially 10 years from now, buying today. I think it's a great opportunity now. We could still be going down for a bit, and who knows how far, but the fact is that will certainly be higher than where the dip is now in years to come. So this is a great opportunity for you to put a good amount of money in there that'll perform, unless, again, you're saving up for something specifically, but we're not hearing anything. Now, yes, when we move into the new place, life changes. Life becomes a little more expensive. On your money, budget your portion of the rent, your portion of the grocery bill, your portion of everything. And then, of course, we will do a combined income, like perfectly combined once the marriage is set, and then budget from there. But we need to budget your allocation to different things now. So you budget where everything goes into different categories a little more aggressively and planned than you probably do now. And with that, you then figure out how much can we amp up that Roth-based 401k from work. Obviously, definitely take the match, but since it's Roth-based, do as much as you can that comfortably fits within your budget.
Okay.
So that's what I would do if I were in your shoes. Yeah, but I don't think it's an overly complicated situation. You've done incredible. The thing with your grandparents, awesome. Your parents are incredibly supportive. I'm really glad. I think you're in an incredible position for the future, and yeah, just keep killing it, and definitely go towards the career path that you want. And
yeah, and I'm not picky with the career path. Like, obviously, I went to school for this. That's kind of my own fault because I didn't realize you can't really do a whole lot with just a bachelor's in kinesiology. So I'm just like, oh, you probably get a master's with that. But yeah, I like what I do right now, and I'd love to do like a program manager role for this. So if that makes me more money than like being in a clinical setting, I don't really care. I just want more. I wouldn't hate doing either, so I'm just gonna go where the most money is, essentially.
Sure. And I think, again, you're already in a good spot where the retirement is 100% behind, to be very clear. Yeah. However, you can
I was already aware of how I didn't until I like got this job. Like I didn't know what my parents don't have retirement. I was never told any of that. So I'm like, oh, I'm already behind like a lot. So
well, the thing is, you can come.
I figured you're gonna say, but I'm yeah.
The thing is, you can come very close to catching up. The Roth IRA is going to be a little behind. The 401k is behind, but with you putting the rest into a brokerage, that's not the emergency fund and Roth IRA, you're going to come very close to catching up. So that'll be good.
Okay.
We don't just want to leave that money sitting there at 2%, though. That much money. Emergency fund, yes. Saving up for other things, yes, but not beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I just feel like if it's not in my actual savings, I'm like, where to go? I'm broke, but I know it's gonna grow over in a different account. I still like think I have to switch my or mindset from that.
Yeah, I understand that, and you will get used to it. It's kind of a little switch you have to do, but it's worth it in the long run. Any final thoughts?
I don't think so. Definitely gonna go look into Fidelity when I log off with you and figure out how to put 6K in there right away. Because it's Roth and I have a Roth based one, I know you can max out 6,000. Is that already invested amount that I have in my 401k through my employer? Does that count towards that?
No, Roth IRA is an outside of employment fund, retirement fund for personal use. So
Okay, so I can throw 6,000. Doesn't matter what I have in my employer one.
right, and the employer 401k, I'm blanking on the exact amount you can do right now, but I don't think you'll be able to max it out because it's a lot of.
Yeah.
But the Roth outside, yeah, the Roth IRA specifically, 401k inside work. There's different, depending if it's public and public sector, different things, it's different kind of things. But you're under 401k. Then on the outside, you can do an IRA. You can do it Roth based or traditional. You'll do Roth because you're certainly going to be making more money later in your life than you are today.
Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate you taking the time to help me walk through all of this.
For Megan's Hammer financial score, she's obviously in an incredible position. She has $50,000 saved up while she's been going through school, and it's awesome that she was helped from her grandparents and her parents for school and her living situation. Where she is a little behind on is the retirement. At 25, the 401k is very low. There is no IRA of any kind. There's no brokerage of any kind. So that deducts a little bit of points. But for getting through school debt-free, including her master's, being in a well-paying job, low for the Bay Area, but low-paying job, and moving in with her partner to a situation where they'll be able to afford their rent at 30% or less of their take-home pay, I mean, I would have to give her a Hammer financial score of 8 out of 10. And once she gets that retirement cranking, that'll be a 9 out of 10. If she's ever able to get a home, 10 out of 10. But for now, 8 out of 10. If you have a financial situation you want me to look at, feel free to email me, castingcalebhammer@gmail.com, which is linked in the description below. And make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and that's where you can see some behind-the-scenes things and interact with me as well. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.